I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the fan favorite characters out of the entire Skywalker saga has got to be Emperor Palpatine from the prequels, the originals, and yes, now even the sequel trilogy by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Disney Star Wars is that we do know that as of right now, we have, of course, the new Disney CEO, Bob Chapek, making many changes over at Lucasfilm in order to really create a better future for Star Wars. What he is trying to do is that he is trying to craft a new Star Wars universe as we speak that is going to consist of books, novels, comics, video games, TV shows, movies, and more. That's all going to interconnect with each other that will be modeled after the MCU. Now, the one thing about The Rise of Skywalker that a lot of fans were very confused over is, of course, exactly what in the world happened to Ben Solo. Now, Ben Solo, even in the novelization for The Rise of Skywalker, it seems to be pretty open-ended. They don't give us a direct answer as to exactly what Ben Solo really becomes after he vanishes. Is he a Force ghost? Is he trapped inside the worlds between worlds? Perhaps he's a part of Rey's spirit? We still do not know, other than the fact that Lucasfilm does indeed have a plan to bring back Ben Solo in various ways. Now, what's really interesting all has to do with Kathleen Kennedy and Adam Driver, and of course, what happened behind the scenes for Episode 9 in particular. Now, specifically, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with the Skywalker saga, they are focused on their new Star Wars trilogy of films, as well as their new Star Wars universe that is going to evolve the franchise for the fans around the world. It's noted that Disney has multiple plans in place in order to create a new expanded universe for the fans, and that they have ways in order to reunite the fans to develop a successful EU for Star Wars. However, it's noted that after the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker, when many interviews were given to the creators of the sequel trilogy, as well as the actors, when Adam Driver was interviewed well after the premiere, he was questioned about Kathleen Kennedy's leadership over at Lucasfilm and her role as a producer for The Rise of Skywalker, where at one point in time, Adam Driver revealed that Kathleen Kennedy had changed the ending of the film numerous times, and that there was actually even an ending in particular that was going to be in the final frames of the movie, including himself as Ben Solo. However, Driver revealed that he had discussions with Kennedy, and that Kathleen Kennedy absolutely wanted to end the Skywalker saga for good as far as the films go, and that was the main reason as to why she did not want Ben Solo to stay alive or even be seen as a Force ghost at the very end, as Driver revealed that Kennedy has plans for the Skywalkers to return also in other forms apart from the movies. Not just that, but Driver also stated that Kathleen Kennedy was the one responsible for cutting out tons of Palpatine footage. Driver went on to unveil that he and Ian McDiarmid had trained for 3 weeks for a particular fight scene on Exegol that was deleted from the third act of the film, since Kennedy didn't want Palpatine to be like how he was in the prequel trilogy era. So, the thing about Kathleen Kennedy, I think that this is yet another prime example that she doesn't necessarily know exactly what Star Wars really is, or exactly how the fans view Star Wars, right? I think at the end of the day, what a lot of fans wanted to see was Palpatine actually using a lightsaber again in a Star Wars movie, and that was actually the original plan. I don't know if you guys knew this, but when George Lucas was on board for the movie with JJ and Chris Terrio, they actually had a lot of scenes filmed for Palpatine in which, yes, he did use a lightsaber. It also explains as to why Ian McDiarmid even had a stunt double at times on set over at, of course, Cardington in the UK, where he was actually facing Adam Driver as Kylo Ren. The thing about all of this, of how Driver revealed that Kennedy had interrupted the major ending to The Rise of Skywalker that was going to involve the visuals of Ben Solo after he disappears on Exegol, the reason as to why Kennedy got rid of that is because she wanted no chance of the Skywalkers to actually begin again, and she wanted to put that all to an end and put it to the wayside, and wanted to focus on the concept of Rey just taking the Skywalker name and pretty much, keeping the legacy alive. That was all Kennedy's idea. And not just that, the fact that Driver was able to discuss that Kathleen Kennedy really did not want Palpatine to actually have this full-on battle against Kylo Ren is because she didn't want Palpatine to be like how he was in the prequel trilogy era. She wanted Palpatine to be in a more weakened state, in a more vulnerable state, if you will. And that was the one problem that I had, I guess you could say, with The Rise of Skywalker, is that yes, Palpatine was back, but at the end of the day, we never really got the true Palpatine that we all know and love, until the very, very ending of the film, where he rejuvenates himself, which lasted, give or take 5-6 minutes at max. Maybe even less than that, if you count all the screen time together. So, like I've said before in the past, I mean, there are a lot of scenes in this movie that I love. There's also a lot of scenes that I really do despise, I will be honest. But the Palpatine material is very interesting. The visuals are great in my point of view, at least for Exegol and Kefber, etc. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding on the one. From night to moon, we hear